The rain-slicked streets of Brooklyn gleamed under the sodium glow of street lamps as Noah's truck screeched to a halt outside the warehouse party, its tires kicking up a spray that soaked my jeans. "Get in there, Ben," he barked, his voice thick with that fake bravado he always pulled when he was 3 beers deep, shoving a crumpled 20 into my hand like it was a lifeline. But as the bass thumped through the brick walls and the door swung open to swallow me whole, I caught his eyes, those hazel storms, lingering a beat too long, like he was handing me over to something he couldn't control. Inside, the air was a humid fog of sweat and cheap cologne, bodies grinding under strobe lights that turned strangers into shadows. I nursed a plastic cup of something that burned like regret, scanning the crowd for faces I recognized from the endless scroll of Noah's Instagram. His lacrosse buddies, the girls with laughter like wind chimes. "Noah had dragged me here to loosen up," he said. Ever since I'd come out to him 6 months ago and watched his easy grin falter just once, like a record skipping. "You're my bro, Ben. Brothers don't mope." But tonight, as the DJ dropped a beat that rattled my ribs, I felt the weight of his arm still ghosting my shoulder from the drive over, and wondered if bros was code for something neither of us could name. That's when she appeared, Lila, with her cascade of red curls and a dress that hugged her like a promise. She was Noah's type on steroids, bold, unapologetic, the kind of girl who could make a straight guy question gravity. I spotted her first, weaving through the throng like she owned the night, her eyes locking on Noah as he finally pushed through the door behind me, shaking rain from his leather jacket. My stomach twisted. Not jealousy, exactly, but the sharp pang of invisibility. Noah lit up, that megawatt smile cracking across his face, and in 3 strides, he was pulling her into a hug that lifted her off her feet. "Lila, you made it!" His laugh boomed over the music, and for a second, I was just the roommate, the tag-along gay kid fading into the wallpaper. I tried to play it cool, sipping my drink and nodding along as they chatted, but the room spun faster than it should. Noah's hand found the small of her back, casual as breathing, and I excused myself to the bar where the bartender, a pierced-up guy with a sympathetic smirk, slid me a shot of tequila. "Rough night?" he asked, and I shrugged, muttering something about exes. Lies, all of it. The truth was Noah, the guy who'd crashed on my dorm couch freshman year at NYU, the one who'd burned midnight oil with me over bad pizza and worse philosophy papers, the straight-arrow jock who'd punched a frat boy for calling me a slur at a tailgate. We'd built this fortress of a friendship in the chaos of New York. Subway rides at dawn, rooftop smokes overlooking the East River, confessions whispered in the dark when insomnia hit. He knew my secrets. I knew his, or so I thought. Back at the edge of the dance floor, Lila was draped over Noah like a victory flag, her fingers tracing the tattoos peeking from his sleeve. He caught my eye over her shoulder, mouthing "You good?" with that boyish tilt of his head. I forced a thumbs up, but my chest ached like I'd run a marathon uphill. The party pulsed on, couples making out in corners, a group shotgunning beers on a makeshift stage, but I felt adrift, a ghost in my own skin. Then, cutting through the haze, came Jake, Noah's old teammate, all broad shoulders and beer gut, the kind of guy who thought irony was a brand of jeans. He clapped Noah on the back hard enough to jolt Lila, then slung an arm around me, his breath hot and sour. "Benny boy, heard you switch teams. How's the rainbow side treating ya?" The words landed like a sucker punch, casual cruelty wrapped in a grin. Laughter rippled from the cluster around us, and I froze, the tequila turning to acid in my throat. Noah's head snapped up, his easy vibe shattering like glass. "Dude, shut the fuck up," he growled, stepping between us so fast it blurred. Jake blinked, feigning innocence. "Lighten up, man, it's a joke." But Noah wasn't having it. His fist clenched at his side, knuckles whitening, and for a heartbeat, I thought he'd swing. Instead, he grabbed my wrist, yanking me toward the back exit where the air was cooler, quieter, the rain a soft patter on metal stairs. "You okay?" he demanded, his face inches from mine, breath mingling with the scent of hops and rain. I nodded, but my voice cracked when I spoke. "Yeah, just tired of the bullshit." His grip tightened, not painful, but anchoring, like he was holding back a tide. The warehouse door thudded shut behind us, muffling the bass to a distant heartbeat. And in that sliver of silence, something shifted. Noah's eyes searched mine, stormy and unguarded, and he leaned in, too close, too deliberate, his forehead pressing against my temple. "I'm sorry, Ben, for all of it. You don't deserve that crap." His voice was low, ragged, and when his lips brushed my ear, not a kiss, but close enough to ignite, I felt the world tilt. We stood there, rain dripping from the awning, the city humming below like a beast in repose. Noah pulled back just enough to look at me, his hand still on my arm, thumb tracing a slow circle that sent sparks up my spine. "Let's get out of here," he murmured, and I followed him down the stairs into the downpour, our shoulders bumping as we ran for the truck. The drive home was a blur of wet wipers and stolen glances, Noah's knuckles white on the wheel, my heart a war drum. By the time we stumbled into our cramped Bushwick apartment, posters peeling from walls, takeout boxes like landmines on the floor, the tension was a live wire. He toweled off first, shirt clinging to his chest in ways that made my mouth dry, then tossed me a dry tee from his drawer. "Wear this. Yours is wrecked." It smelled like him, cedar and clean sweat, and as I pulled it over my head, he watched, silent, from the kitchenette. "Ben," he started, cracking open a beer but not drinking. "That Jake thing. It's not just him. It's this whole scene. Makes me want to punch walls." I leaned against the counter, the shirt hanging loose on my frame, and met his gaze. "Then why'd you bring me? To watch the circus?" Noah set the can down hard, foam spilling over. "Because I hate seeing you shut down. Like after your folks disowned you last year. You remember? Curled up on the couch for weeks. I can't. I won't let that happen again." His words hung heavy, laced with something deeper than pity. I stepped closer, the linoleum cold under my socks, and for the first time, I saw the cracks in his armor. The way his jaw ticked when he lied to himself, the flicker of doubt in those hazel depths. "Noah," I whispered, "what are you really saying?" He crossed the space in one stride, hands framing my face, rough palms calloused from weights and work. His breath hitched, eyes dropping to my lips, and then, God help me, he kissed me. Not tentative, not drunk-fueled impulse, but fierce, like he'd been starving for it. His mouth was warm, tasting of rain and rebellion, and I melted into him, fingers fisting his damp shirt. The world narrowed to the press of his body, the groan low in his throat, the way he backed me against the fridge with a thud that echoed our racing pulses. When we broke apart, gasping, his forehead rested against mine again. "Fuck, Ben. I mean, I did. Shit." Panic edged his voice, but his hands stayed, trembling. I laughed, shaky and real, pulling him closer. "It's okay. We figure it out." That night, we didn't sleep much. Talking in murmurs on the couch, his head on my lap, my fingers carding through his wet hair. He confessed the doubts. The girls who'd never quite fit, the dreams where my face blurred with theirs. I told him about the ache of loving your best friend from the shadows. Dawn crept in, painting the room gold, and for the first time our apartment felt like home. But mornings bring clarity, and with it, fear. Noah bolted upright as sunlight hit the floorboards, eyes wide like he'd woken from a nightmare. "Ben, last night." He raked a hand through his hair, backing toward the door. "I gotta clear my head. Work." "Yeah." He was gone before I could protest. The slam of the door, a gunshot in the quiet. I sat there, shirt still rumpled, tasting the ghost of him on my lips, wondering if I'd imagined the shift, or if I'd just cracked the foundation of everything we had. The days blurred into a tense standoff, Noah and I orbiting each other like wary planets in our shoebox apartment. He'd come home late from the construction site, smelling of sawdust and avoidance, crashing on the couch with a grunted night that barely masked the storm in his eyes. I'd lie awake in my room, the thin wall between us amplifying every creak, every sigh, replaying that kiss like a forbidden reel. The heat of his mouth, the way his fingers dug into my hips like anchors. Was it pity? A straight guy's experiment? Or something real, clawing its way out after years of denial? By Wednesday, the silence was suffocating. I cornered him in the kitchen that morning, coffee brewing like a peace offering, the steam curling between us. "We need to talk, Noah." He froze mid-pour, black liquid sloshing over the mug's rim, his broad back tensing under the faded Mets tee. "Ben, it was the booze. The adrenaline from that asshole Jake. Doesn't have to mean anything." His voice was steady, but his eyes betrayed him, darting to the floor like a kid caught stealing bases. I stepped closer, the counter digging into my spine. "It meant something to me. Has for years." The words tumbled out, raw and unfiltered, the dam finally breaking. Noah's face crumpled, mug clattering to the sink. "Years? Jesus, Ben. I'm straight. This is fucked." He paced the tiny space, 3 steps wall to wall, his hands fisting in his hair. "What if it's just the city? The pressure? My folks back in Ohio. They disowned me faster than yours, did you?" The mention stung, a low blow, but I saw the fear there, mirrored in my own history. The Bible thumpers who'd cut me off with a single phone call, leaving me to scrape by on loans and Noah's hand-me-downs. I reached for him, tentative, my palm flat against his chest where his heart hammered like a trapped bird. "Then we keep it quiet. Just us. Figure out what it is." He stilled under my touch, breath ragged, and for a moment, I thought he'd pull away. Instead, he covered my hand with his, calluses rough against my skin, and leaned in until our noses brushed. "I don't know how to do this," he admitted, voice a gravel whisper. "But I can't stop thinking about you. That night. Your mouth." Heat flooded my face, and he kissed me again. Slower this time, exploratory, like mapping uncharted territory. We ended up on the couch, tangled in a heap of limbs and half-spoken promises. His weight a welcome crush as the coffee went cold. It became our secret rhythm. Stolen mornings before his shifts, lazy afternoons when I'd skip lectures to meet him at the site, passing brown bags of sandwiches through chain-link fences. He'd text me dumb memes, puppies in hard hats, sunsets over the skyline, with captions like, "Miss this view," that made my chest ache with possibility. New York conspired with us. Anonymous crowds where we'd brush hands in subways, hidden alleys for hurried makeouts that left us breathless and bruised-lipped. For the first time since coming out, I felt seen not as the gay roommate, but as Benjamin, flawed and fierce, desired. But secrets fester in the light. It was Lila who unraveled the thread. She texted Noah Friday night, "Party round 2? Miss you." And he showed me, guilt-etching lines around his mouth. I ghosted her after that night. Should I? I swallowed the jealousy sharp as glass. "Tell her the truth. Or as much as you can." He nodded, typing a vague brush off. But her reply lit up his screen. "WTF Noah? Ben's fault? Heard he's got you twisted." My blood ran cold. "How?" Whispers from the warehouse, Jake's big mouth poisoning the well. Noah's face darkened, phone cracking in his grip. "This is bullshit. I'm handling it." Before I could stop him, he was out the door, truck roaring to life. I paced the apartment, nerves frayed, imagining fists and fractured friendships. Hours ticked by, 10, 11, until headlights swept the blinds at 2 a.m. He stumbled in, lips split and swelling, eye purpling like a storm cloud. "Noah!" I rushed him, guiding to the bathroom where the mirror threw back a battered reflection. Ice from the freezer, a damp cloth, domestic motions that steadied my shaking hands. "Jake!" he muttered, wincing as I dabbed the cut. "Cornered me at the bar. Said I was going soft over you. Threw the first punch. Pride warred with worry in my gut. And the second?" A ghost of his grin flickered. "Those were mine." We migrated to the bedroom, mine for the space, where he stripped to boxers, bruises blooming like ink on his ribs. I traced them gently, anger flaring at the violence of it all. "This city's a meat grinder," I said, voice thick. He caught my wrist, pulling me down beside him. "Worth it. For this." His kiss was salt-tinged, desperate, and we lost ourselves in the sheets, bodies speaking what words couldn't. The push-pull of fear and fire. Saturday dawned bruised and beautiful. Noah woke first, making pancakes. Lumpy, charred edges and all. A peace offering that tasted like nostalgia. We ate on the fire escape, legs dangling over the alley. The city a symphony of horns and chatter below. I told Lila everything. He confessed, syrup dripping from his fork. Not the details, but I'm seeing someone. It's complicated. My heart stuttered. Seeing someone? He met my eyes steady now. Yeah, you. Relief crashed over me, and I kissed him there. Amid the pigeon coos and distant sirens, the world none the wiser. But Jake's echo lingered. Monday, Noah's phone buzzed during our ritual coffee, his crew group chat exploding. Traitor memes, skull emojis, a voice note from Jake slurring. Pick a side, bro. Or don't come back. Noah's jaw set like concrete. Fuck him. He deleted the thread, but I saw the fracture. The way his laugh rang hollow at my jokes, the extra weights he piled on at the gym like penance. That night, over low main from the corner spot, he cracked. What if they're right? What if this us is just a phase? I mean, I've never. He trailed off, gesturing vaguely between us. I set my chopsticks down, the carton crinkling. Phases end. This feels like a beginning. He searched my face, vulnerability raw, and nodded. Okay, let's try. We made love then. First time. Really? Not hurried fumbles but deliberate, candlelit exploration on the living room rug. His whispers of I love you, slipping out like a prayer. Afterward, curled against him, his heartbeat a lullaby. I believed in us. In the mess of it all. Yet betrayal brews in blind spots. 2 weeks later, Noah's birthday loomed. A low-key thing at our place, just a few safe friends. I planned it meticulously. His favorite IPAs, a cake from the bakery down the block, a playlist of Springsteen and The National. He came home early, eyes lit like Christmas, pulling me into a hug that lifted me off my feet. Best roommate ever. The word stung, a relic, but I shoved it down, focusing on the warmth of him. The doorbell buzzed at 7, and impaled the stragglers. Mia from his site, artsy and open-minded. Tyler, the quiet graphic designer who'd always been cool. Then, uninvited, Lila. Trailing Jake like a bad omen, her smile brittle as she air-kissed Noah. Surprise! Couldn't miss this. My stomach nodded. Noah's face fell, but he played host, passing beers with forced cheer. The night teetered. Laughter over bad karaoke. Mia belting Born to Run, while Tyler sketched caricatures. I hovered at the edges, refilling chips, catching Jake's glares like daggers. It shattered around 10. When Jake cornered Noah in the kitchen, voices rising over the din. You're throwing it all away for him? Pussy whipped by your own dick. Lila hovered, feigning concern, but her eyes gleamed with something sharper. Noah shoved him back, glasses rattling. Get out. Now. Jake laughed, ugly and loud. Fine. But we all know the truth, you're faking it. Experimenting. He'll dump you when the novelty wears off. The room froze, Mia's mic dropping silent. Eyes turned to us. Pity, shock, curiosity. Noah's fists balled, but it was Lila who struck the blow. She stepped forward, voice honeyed venom. He's right, Noah. I saw you two at the warehouse, kissing like teenagers. But you're straight. Remember prom? That was real. Gasps rippled. My world tilted. Prom? Ohio high school tales he'd glossed over, her the cheerleader, him the quarterback. Real. The word echoed. A knife twist. Noah paled, mouth opening soundlessly. Lila, that's not. But she wasn't done. Turning to the room with theatrical tears. He's confused. Ben's taking advantage. Lies, slick and silver, and the crowd bought it. Tyler's brow furrowing, Mia shifting uncomfortably. Jake smirked, triumphant. I stood there, invisible again, the cake untouched on the counter like a mockery. Noah whirled to me, desperation raw. Ben, wait. I didn't. Grabbing my jacket. I bolted for the door, the night air a slap of reality. Rain started again, fitting, as I wandered Brooklyn's veins, past brownstones and bodegas, tears mixing with drops. Betrayal wasn't Jake's fists or Lila's barbs. It was Noah's silence, the hesitation that let the poison spread. By midnight, soaked and shivering, I ended up at the river's edge, Manhattan's lights mocking across the water. My phone buzzed, Noah's texts. Come home, please. It's not what you think. But home felt like a lie now, and so did we. The East River lapped at the pilings like a restless lover, its dark waters swallowing the city's glow as I hurled pebble after pebble into the abyss, each plink a punctuation to my unraveling. Hours bled into the witching hour, my jacket a sodden weight, phone silenced against the barrage of Noah's pleas. Ben, talk to me. Lila's full of shit. I love you. Fuck. I said it. The words blurred on the screen, half buried in notifications from mutual friends. Mia's worried. What happened? Tyler's awkward party was weird, man. But it was Jake's anonymous tip to the group chat that gutted me. A blurry photo from the warehouse stairs, our silhouettes entwined, captioned Noah's little secret. Who's the real bro now? I powered off, the screen's death a small mercy, and started walking. Brooklyn to Manhattan felt like a pilgrimage of pain, bridges and tunnels blurring under sodium haze. By dawn, I washed up at a 24-hour diner in Chelsea, the kind with vinyl booths cracked like old hearts and waitresses who poured coffee without questions. Rough night, hon? The one with the beehive asked, sliding me a menu. I ordered eggs I wouldn't eat, staring at the window where the city stirred. Delivery bikes zipping, joggers in neon, life indifferent to my implosion. Noah found me at 8, bursting through the door like a force of nature, wild-eyed and unshaven, his truck probably double-parked outside. Ben! He spotted me in the corner booth, relief crashing over his features before hardening into resolve. The diner hushed, forks pausing mid-air as he strode over, dripping urgency. I've been driving all night, scoured every spot we ever hit. He slid into the seat opposite, hands outstretched like an offering, but I leaned back, arms crossed over the chill in my bones. Leave, Noah. My voice was steel, forged in the forge of humiliation. You had your chance back there. His eyes, bloodshot and pleading, searched mine. I froze. Jake's an asshole, Lila's worse. She's been gunning for me since I ditched her. But that photo, someone sold us out, doesn't change us. The word twisted like a barb. It changes everything. You let them paint me as the villain, the seducer, like I'm some phase you regret. He recoiled as if slapped, but leaned in, voice dropping to a fervent hush. Never regretted. God, Ben, you're the only real thing I've had. Back home, it was all script, football, girls, dad's expectations. Lila was part of that facade. But you saw me. The mess, the doubts. Tears welled, unashamed, tracing paths down his stubble. The waitress hovered, refilling his water with a sympathetic cluck. But we were islands now, adrift in the diner's hum. I wanted to believe him. The boy who'd bandaged my scraped knees after skate fails, who'd held me through the fallout of my parents' rejection letter, crisp and cold as winter mail. But trust was a fragile bridge, and Lila's words had dynamited the supports. Prove it, I challenged, voice cracking. Call them out, publicly. No more hiding. Noah's jaw tightened, conflict raging in those hazel depths. The crew, my job, construction's old school. Ben, you know that. Excuses, layered like sediment, and I stood, tossing a crumpled 10 on the table. Then we're done. He followed me out, the morning sun a harsh interrogator on the sidewalk. Wait, I'll do it. Text, post, whatever. Just don't walk away. Desperation clung to him like damp clothes, and against my better judgment, I paused, the city pulsing around us, horns blaring, a street vendor hawking bagels. Your place. Now. It was a concession, a tether, and he nodded, hailing a cab with frantic waves. Back in Bushwick, the apartment reeked of stale party. Spilled beer, cake crumbs ground into the rug. Noah grabbed his phone, fingers flying as he drafted a post. Raw, unfiltered. To my friends, Jake, you're out. Lila, stay gone. Ben's not a phase, he's my heart. Yeah, I'm gay. Or bi or whatever. But I'm done pretending. Love who you love, or lose him. He hit send before I could blink. The X app lighting up with likes. Hearts. Then the storm. Comments flooding like bile. WTF Noah? Knew it soft. Proud of you man red heart from Mia. Jake's block notification pinged sweet relief. Noah tossed the phone aside, turning to me with arms open. There. Done. But the victory tasted bittersweet. His face was a mask of quiet terror, the weight of worlds shifting. I crossed to him, pulling him into an embrace that started fierce and softened to solace. Brave, I murmured into his neck, inhaling cedar and courage. We made our way to the bedroom, shedding clothes like old skins, bodies reconnecting in slow, sacred rhythm. Kisses like confessions, touches mapping forgiveness. Afterward, tangled in sheets that smelled of us, he whispered plans. Therapy for his buried doubts, a weekend upstate to breathe, maybe even telling his folks on his terms. For a week, it was fragile peace. We navigated the fallout like minefield experts. Noah's boss gruff but supportive, long as you show up sober. My prof's oblivious to my skipped classes. Nights were ours. Cooking pasta al dente, binging old sitcoms, his head on my chest as rain lashed the windows. This is it, right? He'd ask, fingers tracing my collarbone. The real start. I'd nod, believing, until the next shoe dropped. It was a Thursday, golden hour gilding the fire escape, when betrayal reared again. Not from foes, but fracture lines within. Noah's phone rang during our smoke break, shrill against the skyline. He answered, face draining of color. Dad? Yeah, I saw your text. Pause, then the Ohio drawl filtering through. Stern, unyielding. Son, this announcement is a phase. Come home. We'll fix it. Church prayer, real girls. Noah's grip whitened on the rail, knuckles like mine from that warehouse night. No, Dad. It's me. Ben's. Everything. The call ended in shouts, the line going dead like a slammed door. Noah hurled his cigarette over the edge, sparks trailing like falling stars. He called you a temptation, said you're ruining me. Rage boiled in my veins. Not at his father, but the poison of legacy, the generational chokehold. Then cut it loose, I urged, but he shook his head, eyes glassy. Can't. Not yet. He's all I got from back there. The words landed like a chasm opening between us, his loyalty a tether pulling him away. That night, the fight ignited over nothing. A forgotten laundry basket, socks strewn like accusations. You're pulling back, I accused, voice rising as we faced off in the living room. Noah's temper flared, defensive. And you're pushing, expecting me to torch my life overnight. Back and forth, barbs flying. My impatience, his hesitation. My scars from rejection, his fear of the same. You kissed me first, I yelled, tears hot. Then act like it was a mistake half the time. He advanced, pinning me against the wall. Not violent but intense, his body a barrier of heat and hurt. It's not a mistake. You're terrified I'll bail, and I'm terrified you'll hate the straight boy who can't keep up. Our breaths synced, ragged, and the anger twisted into something primal. He kissed me then, bruising and needy, hands roaming like claims. We crashed together, on the floor, the couch, a whirlwind of release and reckoning. Bruises from passion, not punches. Whispers of stay amid the storm. But dawn brought no ease. Noah dressed for work in silence, the air thick with unspoken fractures. I'll call him back. Set boundaries. A kiss goodbye, lingering, and he was gone. I spent the day wandering, MoMA's marble halls, Central Park's leaf-strewn paths, seeking solace in art and autumn. My phone buzzed midday, not Noah, but Lila. A voice note, voice syrup sweet. Ben, sweetie. Noah's confused. Come over, we can talk. Save him from himself. Attached. A screenshot of their old texts, intimate, from years ago. Miss you. Always will. Jealousy spiked, irrational but razor-sharp. Was this her play? Divide and conquer? I deleted it, but the seed rooted. Evening found me at a campus bar, nursing a whiskey with a classmate. Alex, easy smile and shared lit classes, who listened without judgment. Sounds intense, he said, hand brushing mine. Harmless, but the spark was there. A reminder of worlds beyond Noah's orbit. Guilt gnawed as I texted home. Out late. Study group. Noah was waiting when I slipped in at midnight. Lamp glow casting long shadows. Where? Simple word. Loaded. Library. I lied, the whiskey sour on my tongue. His eyes narrowed, but he pulled me close anyway. Missed you. We fell into bed, but the rhythm was off. Hesitant touches, searching gazes. In the afterglow, he confessed, Dad's sending a check, to get you straight. His words. Laughter bubbled, bitter, and we clung tighter, two boys against the tide. Yet tides turn. Saturday, a package arrived, Ohio postmark, addressed to Noah. Inside, photos from high school, him and Lila at prom, football triumphs, family barbecues. A note. Remember who you are. He stared at it, transfixed, then crumpled it, but the damage seeped. That afternoon he vanished, truck gone. Note. Need air. Back soon. Hours stretched to evening, panic rising. I paced, calling, texting voids. He returned at dusk, eyes haunted, smelling faintly of her perfume. Drove to Jersey. Cleared my head. Lie plain as the lipstick smudge on his collar. Lila's, no doubt, a talk turned temptation. My world fractured again. With her. Voice small, accusatory. Noah deflated, sinking to the couch. Just talk. Old times. She gets it, the pressure. Betrayal, fresh and flaying. And I don't? I'm the pressure now. The argument erupted, volcanic. Accusations of weakness, pleas for understanding. I love you, Ben. But this scares me shitless. He roared. Then go. I shot back, door slamming behind me. Streets swallowed me once more, heart a hollow drum. At a dive bar in Williamsburg, shots blurred the edges, and Alex appeared. Coincidence or fate? Sliding onto the stool beside. Fancy seeing you. His hand on my knee, warm, uncomplicated. I leaned in, kissing him under the neon buzz, tasting escape. Morning found me in his bed. Sheets tangled. Regret a hangover worse than the booze. Noah's texts piled. Where are you? Please. Guilt propelled me home, key turning like a confession. He was there, wrecked. Eyes red-rimmed, apartment trashed in his pacing. Gone all night. With who? Paranoia edged his tone, mirroring mine. A friend. I hedged, but truth spilled. Alex. It meant nothing. The slap of realization hit us both. Noah's face crumpled. Not anger, but devastation. So that's it? We both break. No, I wanted to scream, but the cycle, hide, erupt, cling had worn us threadbare. Maybe we need space, I whispered, the words a mercy killing. He nodded, tears tracking silent. Yeah, space. Space was a cruel architect, carving voids where warmth once bloomed. The apartment became a battlefield of ghosts. Noah's coffee mug on the counter, my hoodie slung over his chair, echoes of laughter in the floorboards. We coexisted like specters. Polite nods in the hallway, averted eyes over breakfast cereal that tasted like cardboard. He'd crash at the gym late, return reeking of iron and isolation. I'd bury in books at the library, Alex's number burning a hole in my pocket, uncalled. Silence screamed louder than any fight. The what-if's a chorus. What if we'd met differently? What if Ohio's shadow hadn't loomed? What if love wasn't a demolition derby? A week in, Mia staged an intervention, knocking at noon with takeout Thai and her no bullshit vibe. You two are idiots, she declared, plunking containers on the coffee table scarred from too many spilled beers. Noah emerged from his room, hair a wreck, while I hovered in the kitchenette, arms crossed. Sit, she commanded. divvying pad CEW like a therapist's decree. This moping? Toxic. Talk. Or I'll mediate with a baseball bat. Her grin softened the threat, and we obeyed, forks clinking awkwardly. She started gentle. Noah. That post? Ballsy. Owned it. He shrugged, eyes on his plate. Felt good. Then felt like shit. Mia nodded, turning to me. And Ben, you're not the villain here. Lila's a snake. Jake's a relic. But you. She poked my knee. You're letting fear win. Both of you. Truth landed soft. Insistent. Noah cleared his throat, voice rusty. She's right. I'm sorry. For freezing, for Dad. For her. Seeing Lila? Stupid. Seeking easy. His gaze lifted, raw. But you're not easy. You're home. The word unlocked something in me. Tears pricking, defenses cracking. And you're my chaos. I admitted, half-laugh. The good kind. But trust. It's shattered. Mia excused herself to powder her nose. Leaving us in the charged quiet. Noah reached across, tentative, fingers lacing mine. Let me rebuild it. Date me. Properly, no secrets. The offer hung, vulnerable, and I squeezed back. Okay, but slow. Real. Our first date was quintessentially New York. A matinee at an indie theater in the Village, then falafel from a cart, eaten on a bench in Washington Square. Arch surrounded us like a frame, buskers strumming Dylan covers, students sprawled on grass golden with fall. Noah's arm brushed mine, casual now, no hiding. Just two guys sharing hummus and halting stories. Remember freshman orientation? He mused, wiping tahini from his lip. You spilled punch on my shoes. Thought, this guy's a disaster. I elbowed him. And you flirted with the tour guide. Straight boy charm. Laughter flowed easy, a bridge mending. But cracks spiderwebbed under pressure. His phone buzzed mid-bite. Dad again, voicemail terse. Checks in the mail. Use it wise. Praying for clarity. Noah deleted it, jaw tight, but the shadow lingered. He'll come around, I said, unconvincing. Noah's smile didn't reach his eyes. Or not. That's on him. We walked the park after, hands swinging close but not touching, public caution, a remnant of fear. At the fountain, he pulled me behind a tree, kissing me quick and fierce. Worth every risk. Slow burned sweet. Movie nights with takeout. His playlists blending country twang with indie folk. My sketches of him napping, pencil lines capturing the curve of his lashes. Intimacy rebuilt layer by layer, conversations deep as the Hudson, vulnerabilities aired like laundry. He started therapy, a queer-friendly spot in Midtown, emerging with journals scribbled in block letters. Unpacking the straitjacket. He'd quip, but the progress shown. Fewer flinches at rainbow flags, bolder holds in quieter bars. Climax brewed on All Hallows' Eve. The city a riot of costumes and confetti. We planned low-key, costume bash at Mia's loft in Soho, safe haven of allies. Noah went as a lumberjack, ironic nod to his sight gig. Me as a poet, beret, scarf, notebook prop. Laughter laced the air as we arrived. Mia's spread of pumpkin ale and spiked cider flowing. Friends mingled. Tyler DJing vinyl. A cluster of artsy types debating zines. No Jake, no Lila, banned by decree. The night hummed electric, bodies swaying to Bowie under string lights. Noah pulled me to the dance floor. His hands on my waist, a public claim. Hips sinking to heroes. This okay? He murmured, breath hot on my neck. I nodded, dizzy with normalcy, the world seeing us, not scorning. But then the door banged open, cold air gusting with intruders. Lila, vampiress cape billowing. Jake is a zombie. Undead grudge. Whispers rippled. Mia intercepted, voice sharp. Not welcome. Lila's laugh tinkled, eyes locking on Noah. Just crashing. Old times sake. Tension coiled like smoke. Noah stiffened beside me, hand tightening. Leave. Simple, steel. Jake sneered, shambling closer. Or what? Punch me again, fairy? The slur detonated. Gasps. A bottle clinking to the floor. Mia herded guests back, but the circle tightened. Lila sidled to Noah, claws out. Baby, this pity party's over. Come home with me. Real. Her hand grazed his arm, proprietary, and something in him snapped. He shook her off, stepping forward, voice booming over the din. Enough. Lila, you were yesterday a script I outgrew. Jake, you're poison, man. Buried your own shit so deep you lash out at mine. The room held breath. Jake lunged, fist cocked, but Noah sidestepped, countering with a shove that sent him sprawling into a beanbag. No blood, just thud and humiliation. Get out, Noah repeated, chest heaving. Both of you, and take your hate with you. Lila's mask cracked. Tears, real or rehearsed. You'll regret this. Alone, broken. She flounced out, Jake trailing with muttered curses. The loft exhaled. Applause sporadic then swelling. Mia whooping as she cranked the music. Noah turned to me, eyes alight with fire, triumph, terror. Did it? I pulled him close, kissing him amid cheers, the taste of victory sweet. But betrayal's echo lingered. Later, as jack-o'-lanterns flickered low, Noah's phone lit with a text from an unknown. Lila's handiwork, no doubt. A photo. Us at the park, stolen, caption proof he's using you. Wake up. Paranoia flickered, but he blocked it, tossing the device into his jacket. Noise, he dismissed, but doubt seeded. The real storm hit Sunday, gray skies mirroring moods. Noah's truck wouldn't start, dead battery, fitting metaphor, and we cabbed to brunch in the East Village, a cozy spot with mismatched mugs and lavender scones. Over Eggs Benedict, he broached it. Dad's coming, next week. Family talk. My fork paused, yoke breaking like resolve. Here? In our space. He nodded, grim. Neutral ground. Coffee shop. But, stay close. I agreed, masking unease. The invasion of Ohio's ghost into our fragile nest. The week crawled, anticipation a low hum. I prepped subtly. Fresh sheets, his favorite playlist cued. Noah withdrew. Therapy notes piling unread. Weights clanging late into night. Just nerves, he'd say, but his touches turned frantic, like grasping sand. Friday, the call came early. Dad, voice crackling over speaker. Flight lands noon. Be there. Click. No warmth, no sun. We met at LaGuardia. Noah fidgeting in arrivals. Me a silent sentinel. Outstepped Harlan. Broad as his son, silver crew cut. Button-down crisp as judgment. Hugs were stiff, eyes appraising me like suspect evidence. Benjamin, he grunted, handshake bone crusher. The drive was torture. Small talk curdling into scripture quotes. Harlan's Bible thumping on his knee. Noah's told me. Things. We'll sort it. At the apartment, tension thickened like fog. Harlan toured the space, fingers trailing shelves. My queer-lit collection, Noah's lacrosse trophies. Nice setup, he allowed. But his gaze lingered on the pride flag pinned discreetly by the window. Lunch was takeout. Awkward bites of deli sandwiches, until he launched, Son, this city's warped you. That lifestyle is a choice. Come home, reset. Noah's fork clattered. Not a choice, Dad. It's me. Ben's part of that. Harlan's face reddened, veins bulging. Part? He's the problem. Seducing you from God's path. The accusation flew, venomous, and I recoiled, chair scraping. Noah surged up, table rattling. Stop. Ben saved me. From faking. From you. Harlan stood, towering. Ungrateful. I raised a man, not this. He gestured wildly, encompassing us, the life we'd built. The door loomed, exit strategy, but Noah blocked it. Stay. Hear him. Harlan's eyes narrowed on me. You happy, boy? Turning my son. Rage boiled, years of rejection flashing. Your son's a man, Harlan. Brave. Loving. Unlike the fear you peddle. Silence boomed. Then Harlan deflated, shoulders slumping. Fear? Try love. Twisted, maybe. He sank back, voice softening. Lost your mother to it, cancer. Didn't save her with prayers. Just want you whole. Vulnerability cracked the ice. Noah knelt, hand on knee. I am whole, Dad. With him. Harlan's gaze flicked between us, warring. Prove it. Not words, time. He rose, coat in hand. Weak here. See for myself. Shock rippled, but Noah nodded, glancing at me. Question, plea. I swallowed hard. Okay. The week was crucible. Harlan shadowing shifts, silent judgments over dinners. Mornings, he'd grill Noah on faith. Evenings probe my intentions. Cracks showed, Noah's temper flaring at barbs, my patience fraying. One night, after Harlan's sermon on Sodom, Noah snapped, storming out. I found him on the roof, city lights a constellation of solace. Can't breathe, he gasped, tears free. I held him, rocking. You don't have to choose. But he might. Betrayal crested Thursday, Harlan's last full day. We returned from a tense walk in Prospect Park. Noah pointing out dogwoods, Harlan grunting responses, to find the apartment ajar. Inside, chaos. Drawers rifled. Noah's journal open on the bed. Pages dog-eared at therapy confessions. My laptop screen glowed. Email open to coming out letters to friends. Harlan stood amid the mess, face ashen. Needed truth, he muttered. Your words, filth. Lies. Noah's roar echoed. My life. You violated us. Fists clenched, but Harlan held ground. To save you. The fight spilled, accusations, sobs, Harlan's Bible hurled like accusation. Get out. Noah commanded, voice breaking. Now. Harlan paused, eyes wet. Son. But the door shut final, cab called in fury. Alone. Wreckage surrounded us. Papers strewn. Trust eviscerated. Noah collapsed, keening. He saw it all. Hated it. I gathered him, pieces of journal fluttering like confetti. He saw you. Really saw. But the violation lingered, a deeper cut than Lila's schemes. Friday, Harlan's flight out was silent, curb drop-off, no goodbyes. His text came hours later, praying. Doors open if you come alone. Rejection. Cloaked. Noah deleted it, but the scar pulsed. That night we rebuilt, literally sorting papers by lamplight, metaphorically in whispers. We're enough, I vowed, his head on my lap. He nodded, but shadows clung. Shadows lengthened as November bit deeper. The city shedding leaves like regrets. But in our corner of Bushwick, something resilient took root. Noah and I mended methodically. Date nights at hidden speakeasies, where jazz hummed low and his hand stayed in mine under tables. Therapy doubles, where a soft-spoken counselor unpacked Harlan's ghost without judgment. Trauma's a chain, she'd say. But you hold the key. Noah's entries grew poetic. Sketches of my hands, odes to subway sunrises, and he read them aloud, voice steadying with each stanza. Yet the past prowled. Lila's final gambit slithered in via mutuals. Rumors on X, twisted tales of Noah's breakdown. Painting him victim, me villain. Jake amplified. Anonymous posts dripping bile. Straight guy ruined by city ferry. Screenshots flooded our feeds. A digital witch hunt. Noah's crew thinned. Mia loyal. Tyler fading with awkward busy texts. Work whispers hounded. Foreman's side eyes. Tools misplaced. Phase it out. Noah joked bitterly over beers, but his eyes hollowed, weights heavier. Climax crested mid-month. A raw November eve when winds howled off the harbor like banshees. We'd planned escape, a cheap upstate cabin, booked on a whim for breathing room. Packing was ritual. Thermoses of coffee, flannel shirts, my sketch pad for the foliage. Noah's grin cracked through fatigue as we loaded the truck, his kiss lingering at the door. Just us. No Ohio, no vipers. The drive north was balm. Queensboro Bridge fading in rearview. Taconic Parkway winding through rusting oaks. Radio crooned Lucinda Williams, her ache mirroring ours, and Noah's hand found my thigh, thumb circling promise. The cabin squatted lakeside, logs weathered, chimney puffing welcoming smoke from the caretaker's fire start. Inside, quilts threadbare but warm, a stone hearth, windows framing water like glass. We unpacked to the slap of waves, then hiked trails slick with leaves, boots crunching autumn's hush. At a overlook, valley sprawling gold and crimson. Noah dropped to one knee, not proposal but plea. Ben, I fuck tradition. Marry my mess? Be my always. Ringless, but eyes earnest. Ring of hazel fierce. Laughter bubbled through tears. I hauled him up, kissing salt and soul. Always. Night fell velvet, stars pricking the ink-black sky. We built a fire on the dock, flames dancing on ripples, marshmallows toasting to gooey gold. Whiskey from a flask warmed bellies, loosening tongues. Harlan texted. Noah confessed, poking embers. Apology? Kinda. Miss you. Praying right. I tensed, but he waved it off. No reply. This us is my scripture now. We made love under blankets by the water, slow and sacred, bodies attuned like instruments. His gasps in my ear, my nails raking his back, release a symphony cresting with the loon's cry. Dawn painted the lake rose, but peace fractured with Noah's phone. Buzz insistent. Harlan's voice, frantic. Son, saw the posts. That girl's lying, come home. Safe. Lila's poison, escalated. A fabricated thread claiming Noah's suicide watch. Me the trigger. Panic surged. Noah paled, dialing Mia for triage. Damage control, he muttered, pacing planks. I followed, heart hammering. We'll fight it. Back in the city Sunday, storm clouds gathered literal and figurative. X erupted, supporters rallying Noah strong, detractors spewing slurs. Jake's account suspended after doxing threats. Lila went radio silent, cowards retreat. But the toll mounted. Noah's sight laid him off. Budget cuts, code for bias. Leaving days empty, nights restless. Harlan arrived unannounced Tuesday, airport rental idling outside. No confrontation this time. He knocked soft, Harlan Sr. humbled in a wool coat. Talk. Noah hesitated, glancing at me. I nodded, fortress, not fracture. Kitchen table, steam from tea curling like truce flags. Harlan's eyes, so like his son's, darted guilt, grief. Saw the lies. Thought, maybe I pushed you here. Admission seismic. Noah leaned forward. You did. But Ben? He pulled me through. Harlan's gaze shifted to me, appraising anew. You love him. Statement, not question. I met it square. With everything. Silence stretched. Then Harlan's hand extended. Not shake, but clasp over the table, Noah's bridging. Hurt you, son. Mom'd hate that. Tears welled, collective. Stories spilled, her laugh. Her quiet allyship to Noah's differences. Healing wasn't linear. Harlan stayed 2 days. Awkward dinners of takeout. Walks where he grilled gently on city life. No sermons, just questions. Happy. Noah's yes rang true. Departure was airport hug. Fierce, father-son, and a promise. Visit Ohio, on your terms. Truck fading. Noah turned to me, grin breaking. Miracle. But Lila's shadow lingered, venom's last lash. Thursday, a package. Manila envelope, no return. Inside, printed emails, mine to Alex, that one-night slip, screenshotted from a hacked account. Accompanying note, her script, knew he'd cheat. Leave while you can. Betrayal's blade, self-inflicted wound reopened. Noah stared, face ashen. When? Voice small, wounded. It crumbled. One night, week, after your thing with her. Thought we were done. The chasm yawned. He backed away, eyes stormy. We were broken. Not over. Accusations flew. Trust's fragile rebuild. My hypocrisy in demanding his fidelity. You froze at the party. Let them trash me. And you ran to him. Voices peaked, shattering a mug, porcelain shards like our vows. Noah stormed out, door slamming thunder. I sank to the floor, sobs racking, the apartment echoing void. Hours later, he returned, midnight rain sheeting windows, his knock tentative. Soaked, shivering, eyes red. Can't lose you. Pulled him in, towels and tears. Me neither. We talked till pale light. Hurts aired. No barbs. Forgive. he whispered, forehead to mine. Trying. You. Nod. Every day. Bed that night was sanctuary, holds gentle, kisses mendicant. Dawn found us entwined. The storm passed. Winter whispered in, snow dusting fire escapes like absolution. Noah landed temp work. Barista at a queer cafe, easy camaraderie. We volunteered at a youth center, sharing stories with kids navigating their own comings out. Noah's vulnerability a beacon. Harlan called weekly, stilted, then warm. Recipes, football scores, proud son. Lila faded to footnote, legal whispers of defamation buzzing. Spring bloomed eventual, cherry blossoms frenetic in the park. One April Eve, rooftop under stars. City a carpet of light. Noah knelt again, this time with a ring. Simple band, silver promise. Marry me, Ben. For real. Laughter, yes, kisses ceiling. Not fairy tale. No dragons slain clean, but humanistic truth. Love as verb, messy and mending. We planned small. City Hall, Mia officiating, rooftop vows. Years later, looking back, that party was Genesis. Warehouse based the heartbeat of change. Betrayals forged us stronger. Conflicts carved clarity. Noah, my straight gone straight arrow, my anchor. Me, his compass. In America's vast, flawed tapestry. Brooklyn brownstones to Ohio fields. We wove our thread. Dramatic, emotional, romantic, raw, human, utterly. And in quiet moments, his hand in mine, I knew. Changed everything? Hell yes. For the better.